absolutely free and enjoy more of what the world has to offer in this action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch.
So a little one-person trampoline. Very,
I screen shared it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk Terror Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning. Oh, shoot, we have the wrong banner up. Good morning. So this morning, we have a fun topic. It's called the blame game. The blame game. And the goal for today are a little bit of a challenge as we start our Monday morning. We're getting our coffee, stretching out, getting a little loose for the week to come. We're going to be talking about the blame game. The blame game, a very dangerous game that we do not want to play. And this game is essentially when we blame others, we blame circumstances, we blame things that are not in our control, that we have no control over, and we allow and we give the power to these circumstances and events to control the things that we can control and we can make change towards. Change is hard enough. Making change is very, very difficult. Making change can be, if not the hardest thing a human being can endure. But what is the only constant? Change. So you could argue that everything has change. And that's probably why life is so hard, is because we need to continue to think, evolve, grow, but also have awareness of the present moment, have awareness of the things that we do have, but still making plans and formulating ideas and working with others, growing relationships. And there's so many moving pieces that when we spend too much time blaming other things and other situations, we run out of time. I just don't have the time. And we're going to go over 3 reasons why this morning, why the blame game is absolutely dangerous. And the hope is for myself to be inspired by this message, so I stop blaming other things that are not in my control, things that I do not need to worry about, because that causes me pain and suffering, and hopefully you as well. So this episode is for you as well, in taking more ownership, responsibility of our own situation, and feeling good about that too. And in the blame game, good morning. Thanks for tuning in with us this morning. The blame game isn't a reason why, like, oh, I don't need to blame everything else to understand that there's a lot in my life that I am very grateful for, and there's a lot of opportunities still take advantage of. And I'd hate for me to blame something. I used to not take action on things. Because I'd blame a certain person, a certain situation. When I was younger, I'm sure you can think of a scenario when you wanted to go to like a social event. You wanted to go to something where your friends were meeting up and hanging out, and you didn't go because you blamed a particular person. You blamed how you looked, you blamed how you felt, you blamed this and you blamed that. And then it took away an experience from you. And I think blaming, not only is it, nobody wants to be around somebody who blames things all the time, and we're social creatures. You don't want to be shunned from making new friends and allowing yourself. But I'd just be worried that if I blame other things too much to the point to where I don't take action, it's like, what experiences am I really missing? If God, Jesus, the universe, or whatever, said at the end of your life, we're going to play a video. And this video is you living to your 100% potential. This video that the Lord or whatever you believe in, say some higher being, is playing you this video, and they're saying you're going to see yourself live to your highest potential. You're going to see yourself living a life where you don't blame anybody for your situations and you just make the absolute most of your resources. What would you see on the video? Probably some crazy stuff, because there's always people who have done more with less. I read this in a book, and I went to a seminar recently, and one of these guys was always talking about these examples. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in with us this morning. He was showing these examples of everybody in every single situation, and it kept coming up that someone always had it worse and someone's always done more with the resources they've got. So the blame game can be very dangerous. I'm not saying people don't come from tough upbringings and they don't have resources. It's just, but that just doesn't even matter. And the victim mentality, I think, is very dangerous. I think there's a lot of people who need trauma healed, specifically childhood traumas that hold us back. I know that was a big something that was holding me back on a lot of stuff. And there comes to a point to where you're either going to live the life that you want to live or you're not. And that's very dangerous because the human experience is specific to you. If you choose to waste your time while you're on this earth, that's on you. It's not on the government. It's not on the Republicans. It's not on the Democrats. So be very careful of the blame game. Without further ado, so I don't run out of all these points that I'm talking about. Reason number one, why we stay away from the blame game: it shifts our focus away from personal responsibility. When we blame other things, when we blame people, institutions, all this stuff, it takes our focus away, which is our, aside from time, our greatest asset is our quality of attention. If you can give something your quality of attention, you can do anything. You can really get anything done you want. And it takes away our focus from this. And this is very dangerous. So asking yourself, next time you blame something, you blame somebody else, ask yourself, where's my focus at? Because I'm willing to say it's not on you. And that's careful. And that's dangerous, because we need our high level of attention and our high level of focus to be able to compete in today's marketplace. If you want to be a real estate agent, a really good one, you got to be focusing on you and what the things you need to be doing. If you want to have a good relationship with your family, you got to be focused on you and you got to be focused on them. If you want to be able to live in the present moment so you can ease off of pain and suffering, the ultimate gift of life, you got to be able to focus. Meditation is just a focus and refocus exercise. That's all we're really doing here. So you can see all of the amazing things in life is when we are focused on our own personal responsibilities and taking ownership of those responsibilities so we can make the absolute most of them. So tip number one, shifting, be careful of the blame game, because it takes your focus away from you. The next one up, number two, second reason why to avoid the blame game that we're talking about this morning is cycles of negativity. Cycles of negativity. There's a lot of science that backs up when we are blaming things, we tend to be in a negative state of mind, right? That makes sense. Blame tied with negative feeling and emotion makes sense. We're in a cycle of negativity then. Who the hell wants to work with negative people? Who wants to help negative people? Who wants to improve, support negative people? And I'm willing to tell you the list is short. The list is short. When we think of who we want to, I know I don't want to be surrounded by negative people. That stuff drains the crap out of me. I got to focus on, like I was talking about the first one, having my focus staying on, do I want to help people? Yes. But there's only so much where you can take out when it comes to friends, when it comes to wanting to be around people. when I reach out to people, say if we're going to go golfing, say if we're going to go kayaking, say if we're going to do some type of traveling, do something fun. Am I looking for positive or negative people? I'm looking for positive people. So think about the missed experiences that you have when you're around people and then they see the negativity, they see the blaming. People are smarter than they get credit for. No one wants to be around blamers, negative people, and it's just really draining. And these people need the most help, and that's what stinks, right? Because I want to be around positive people. I want to make myself more positive. And negative people, they need the help. But we're all selfish creatures in our own ways because we want to make ourselves better. So we're not going to surround ourselves with that. So just watch out for that. When it's like, man, I don't get invited to any of these parties. And it's like, well, yeah, you were blaming the government the last 2 parties that you went to. So be very careful with the blame game stuff. It can make it really hard to have strong, good friendships. It can make it really hard to stay in touch with family members. It can make it really hard to just feel positive in general. And that, like the cycle of negativity, it seems like it starts up here and then it kind of like spins downward, like it's compounds on itself. And the more negative you are, the harder it is to get away from it, kind of almost like a fly trap. The harder you struggle, like the deeper down you go into it. So be very careful of cycles of negativity when it comes to the blame game. And lastly, the third one I want to talk about, well, I got some bonuses and some pro tips here at the end, but so when it comes to the blame game, that limits our ability to solve problems and maximize resource, which is that's the best definition I've heard of an entrepreneur, is solving problems and maximizing current resources. That is all we're kind of doing as entrepreneurs. That's all we're doing as people to try and make the most out of our lives. And when you are negative, when we are blaming, it literally shows that when people are in a negative blaming state, they're blaming others, they're blaming situations, they can't solve the problems as well as someone who's like, oh, this is up to you. Oh, you can do it this way. Oh, you have everything you need to get this done. It's in your control. Versus if you were told it's out of your control, it's really this person's fault, there's nothing you can do. And then you're just stewing. You're like, yeah, that piece of crap. Like, how could he do that? And then you don't solve the problem. You don't get anything done. You're kind of just in a negative state. So again, the blame game being very dangerous for that. The last one, a pro tip. So of course we want to, as entrepreneurs, we want to solve problems and we want to maximize current resources. That gives us more learning opportunities, as you see in the banner. And a bonus that can be kind of controversial, but I think it's completely true. Nobody cares. When you talk about the doom, the gloom, the bad, I couldn't get that done because they didn't do that. I couldn't get this done. Or what were some examples that I was reading? I'm not a bad student. I have bad teachers. Education, terrible. The teachers. I'm not an unreliable employee. I have bad bosses. I'm not an unreliable employee. I have bad bosses. And it's like, nobody cares. I'm not lazy. I just don't have the time to exercise. I'm not lazy. I got a lot going on. I'm not lazy. I just don't have the time. And it's like, dude, setting yourself up for failure, because unfortunately, nobody cares. And I say that, and you might be thinking, "Oh, Tanner, geez, you're kind of an asshole for a life coach." And I would say, I'm saying this as a good thing. You wouldn't want everyone to care so much about what you are doing and how you are handling things and what you got going on, because then you couldn't focus on yourself. And focusing on yourself and improving yourself is not only the greatest gift that you can give to the world, because you rely off of your own resources, You produce and you give back at much higher levels when you focus on yourself. And that's actually a really big gift. Before you can give to others, you got to give to yourself. And it's so easy to fall into the trap of what this person thinks, what that person thinks. They're oppressing me. They're keeping me down. They're not letting me do it. The ghost of they. It's always the ghost of they, right? And I hope I'm not sounding ranty this morning, but I think it's a true gift when we understand that nobody gives a shit and that it is truly our responsibility to enjoy the present moment, to live a fulfilling life, to love the people who we love, to work on the projects that we really want, to have our quality of attention be where we want it to be. It's totally up to us. And we don't need to blame somebody else to get to these amazing, wonderful states of mind. So the bonus today would be nobody cares. So what do we aim for? It's like, okay, geez, I can't blame anything anytime, Tanner says. So I gotta take personal responsibility, right? What's that even look like? Okay, these are just 3 things I would try to focus on. These are things that I'm trying to focus on. I talk as if I'm not working on these things myself all the time. I blame stupid stuff all the time, really trying to reduce it because it doesn't do me any good. So what are things that I can do and we can do to be better then? It would be to self-awareness. Raising self-awareness is real. Whenever you catch yourself, that would be today's goal. Just catch yourself. Catch yourself when you're blaming something else. When you're blaming somebody else, when you're blaming something else, catch yourself. Raising awareness to it will usually, naming and identifying it really helps with reducing any bad habit in general. They talk about, well, whether it's 12 steps, you're using with addiction, or you're just trying to kind of change the times. Awareness, numero uno. Self-awareness is always a good one to focus on. So raise your self-awareness, catch yourself when you're blaming others, when you're blaming other things. 2, hold yourself accountable. Accountability can be one of the most rewarding feelings in the world. When you were held accountable, when you held yourself accountable and you got done what it is that you wanted to do. And lastly, having some resilience. You wouldn't want it easy anyway. If I just gave you everything you ever wanted and you didn't have to work for it, it wouldn't feel good. It wouldn't be worth anything. That's why when you see these rags to riches stories and they come out on the other side of it, they're so inspiring and we're so attracted to it because I believe deep down that's what we want. We want to overcome pain. We want to overcome tough situations. We want to take our own resources and we want to grow it into something that is our own experience within our own control, not blaming others and feeling lifeless, feeling like there's just nothing I can do. That's not what I want. And I'm willing to argue that's probably not what you want either. We want to decide on something that we really care about. We want to make an action plan to be able to get there. And we want to see ourselves make progress and grow and evolve as people over time. And to live a healthy life, where does blaming come into play? I would say it doesn't really have a space in my book. Does it have space in yours? Do you want to rip the pages out of the blame game and get it out of your own book, your own story along the way? I want to bring this up because I think it can be very dangerous to blame others. Am I going to blame somebody some other time here again in the future? Yes. But the goal isn't to run a marathon in 0 minutes and 0 seconds. The goal is to reduce my time as a runner. The goal is to reduce how much time I'm spending on it. The goal is to reduce the negativity, to reduce the blaming, and to live more at peace, have higher quality attention, focus on myself, on my education company, on a real estate, on my family, like focusing on the good things that I love and I can make a difference on, I can have some control over, and then we're not letting go of the stuff that doesn't matter, letting go of the things that I would used to blame. So This was the blame game. Be very careful of the blame game. Be careful of when you blame other people for other situations, and how it's actually a lot more fulfilling. It's just an amazing feeling when we can start to take ownership and responsibility and accountability for ourselves and our own situation. And sometimes we got to raise our self-awareness to do that. I hope this was helpful. Another episode. This was episode 297 of the Dr. Tanner Morning Show, where today we talked about stop blaming others. Tomorrow we will be live with another episode at 8 a.m. live Central Standard Time with another personal development tip, trick, or idea to help you become the better version of you, not only for yourself, but the people you care about most. If you need coaching, we have 6-week courses here that are absolutely dive deep, the deepest dive that you could ever do for yourself. If you're looking to invest in yourself, you've always thought, hey, I like personal development books. Hey, I like investing in myself. Then we have a 6-week course that is absolutely life-changing, money back guaranteed. Go ahead and send me a direct message if you'd like to learn more about that. And then other than that, we're going to keep rocking and rolling with free information, trying to help you guys and help just as important, to help myself keep getting better and evolving and growing over time. I'm having a lot of fun. I really, really appreciate everyone's love and support. If you could, like the video, subscribe to it. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, feel free to comment things about your own personal development journey and also share with others as we continue to grow and evolve together. Thanks, friends. I'm out of time. I'm on to the next thing. I got a few things I got to knock out today. So have an awesome, amazing, fun-filled Monday. Enjoy your May 22nd, 2023. You only get one shot at today before the sun goes down. Poof. The day will be gone. So enjoy it. And I'll see you all live again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with another personal topic to help us be better at what we do. Cheers, friends. I'm out of here. You guys have an incredible day. This was the blame game, and I'll check you later.